Welcome to segment number 19 of our run through Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Something that we've been playing on and off over the last 6 months, probably the longest we've stretched out a bounded single-player game on this stream. So far it has amounted to about 73 hours on our save file and 92% completion. And that includes the Mask of Darkness DLC, which I understand actually puts the possible total over 100%, up to something like 107 or something. But anyway, we are missing quite a few collectibles, and it's unlikely that we'll do a full 100% sweep on stream, since it's a lot of poking around corners. But we'll see, because for the last many streams, we have been working entirely on the Divine Trials challenges. And we have one more remaining. We thought we would complete it last time, but that was not so, because the penultimate challenge took us 4 hours to complete, and was just the longest one by far, partly because it was a marathon. I don't think in terms of total number of attempts it was necessarily the hardest thing we've done in the game, but it certainly was a bit of an effort, especially here on, I think it's called Hero difficulty. It's one preset above normal that we've been doing so far. Anyway, that leaves exactly one challenge remaining on the challenge stones, which is the expert version of Menelaus, whom I barely remember in his standard form. And it shouldn't matter too much, because from our experience, some of the expert bosses have radically altered patterns from their original form anyway. But I think the original boss that we met in the story way back in probably segment 9 or so of the videos, I think, didn't really put up too much of a challenge. I remember we were through him fairly quickly, and there are probably all sorts of mechanics that we never really got a proper read on. So we'll see how the expert mode goes, and then, time willing, depending on whether this takes 1 hour or 3 or 4, hopefully not, we will then try to proceed to the royal corridors, and we'll try to make an attempt at closing out the game. I don't know how long this segment is. I don't know if it's just a boss or if there's a finale sequence, a platforming sequence perhaps leading up to it. But it does look like this is the point of no return to the finale, and we have been holding off on this for months. I think it was 3 months ago, back in February, that we had unlocked the way there in the story, and we've just been doing the optional challenges since. So let's take a look at Menelaus Expert, and let's see how it goes. Looks like there's no grapple permitted on this fight. That's the only thing that we need to be aware of, I think. We don't know what the preset loadout will be, but we'll make use of it, whatever it turns out to be. So let's give this a go. Most of the challenge rooms so far have taken us about an hour apiece. Some of them, in rare cases, have taken 3 or 4. And the hardest boss we've faced so far was the secret boss at the end of Mask of Darkness. But we only learned about long after we'd finished the rest of the DLC.
Menelaus, lower your bow. Listen,
and we might as well watch the cutscene once.
Killed Hassan. I won't believe anything you say.
Bit of a review of the story, at least one particular moment in it.
We are warriors, so that one day others don't have to be. Varum is the king to end all wars. A king.
Now we are fairly rusty in this,
subjects. Help me stop him.
So let's see what happens.
That is bigger than you and me. You're giving me no choice.
Anyway, Menelaus, the Arrow of Destiny. So again, I have almost no memory of his original pattern, and we'll pretty much have to learn the expert pattern from scratch anyway, so So that drops something that has to be dodged. It does do a fair bit of damage. Also notice that we do not have the self-heal healing pool. We do have 3 potions, but... Okay, let's... Oh, and then the stars, I think we just need to dodge them. I think, yeah, they can be popped with our own arrows. I don't know. Actually, they can be beaten back by the sword as well. Now, we're just going to get chopped up right away here without really doing too much. Oop. That does a whole lot of damage. That's okay, still just getting warmed up and relearning how to play this game, I suppose, after over a week off since our last stream. And to think we got so fluent into combat after all the challenges we've been doing, and yeah, we've used all our potions already and we've hardly gotten a hit in, so... I think we just need to watch the various patterns and just dodge them, and then we'll be fine. It looks like, in terms of the specials, again, we don't have the self-heal, so we can't just rely on that.
What a shame.
And yeah, we're going to die pretty quickly here. And dodging backwards isn't going to help too much when he's shooting straight at you. Ideally, we stay grounded, I think, and then try to lead the arrow at ground level and then jump from there.
You lack finesse.
Oh, and then we have to watch out. Jump means the sweep attack, at least once early on, that's parryable. Oh. Then that's going to cross over. That's a bit of a problem, actually. Let's just try to get in here and juggle him against the wall for a bit if we can. He's been boost back. Counter. Whoop. Warps over there. Okay. Not getting much of a word in edgewise so far. Do remember that he can be juggled against the wall a little bit. The burst doesn't seem to damage me. It just gets him out of trouble when I've got him down against the wall like that. Okay, that was surprisingly well dodged. Okay, that wasn't too bad, actually. All things considered. Just haven't damaged him very much yet. And then sometimes you do need to dodge 2 simultaneous attacks like that. We almost have a level 1 power going. We haven't had an opportunity to use it yet, but...
What a shame.
Oh. I don't want to run into everything here. Yeah, it's really an exercise in dodging a lot of simultaneous attacks, I think. Because the knockback can really throw off your pattern quite a bit
You lack finesse.
if you're not quite careful. In some ways, I think I have more trouble with the fights where it's not a question of having a method, it's just a matter of playing well and hitting the dodges and managing to get out of the way of the various attacks. Those challenges on the player's fundamentals really give us more trouble than most other things. Like anything that can be puzzled through. The parry gets a pretty decent knockback on him, so we should watch out for that. So again, jump means he's going to sweep. And then parry gives me a significant amount of power.
We must follow Varum.
We can actually get the level 1 attack. Can we hit? Okay, that actually did hit. Did pretty well, in fact. Yeah, if he gets me the parryable attack, then we're in good shape, in fact. As long as we don't duck under it.
This isn't the way.
Nope, was trying to slide out of that, and we didn't quite manage to hit it. Can I interrupt him here? Am I within range? Yes, I am. It's just a lot of dodging to do. All over. And sometimes we don't want to be stuck with being caught in some other form of defense while we're trying to get an approach.
What a shame.
Okay. Good, except we didn't manage to catch him that time with the deflection. So yeah, at 0 potions already, and we're not even through phase 1 yet. That seems to be a phase transition on this attack here. Okay, this I think is just pure dodging, which can be a problem. Because you have to watch out for where to dodge and just where to go. We did get hit a little bit here. Gaming Sage, welcome. And Tech Wolves, welcome as well. Thank you so much for the raid. I don't know if the notification came through for that. I didn't hear the alert. So hopefully my alerts are actually working. Yeah, we're doing a hard mode of one of the bosses in the game right now. It's the last challenge room that I'm doing before I hopefully attempt to finish the game and finally see end credits at some point. I was too focused on the fight, yeah. I might also have some of my alerts turned down a bit low, perhaps. Anyway, thank you for the raid. Let me just give you a quick shout out before I continue the next attempt. We're just kind of getting warmed up here. And I hope Ace Attorney has been going well for you, as always. Okay, let's see what we can do. Oh, he's going to give us the Constellation right away. Nope, it's quite a bad knockback. Oh. Not in a good position here. Okay, there we go. Can we get him? Not quite. Deflected him, but he did catch me with the other attack, so we couldn't quite follow up there. I don't need to deflect that straight onto him to get the knockback effect, I think. Well, we're playing defense a little bit better this time. Still on the first potion.
We must follow.
Where anyway? Oh. So we got to the first phase transition in the last attempt. Try to do at least that well this time if we don't get caught by everything. Oh, there is a bit of a bounce back too on that beam, which I didn't realize. That it sweeps in both directions if it misses you the first time. Or at least sometimes seems to do so. Nope, getting caught by everything here. And yeah, the Gaming Stage, you almost beat Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. That's your progress so far. Well, hopefully you've got that out of the way fairly soon.
What a shame.
I'm trying to get this out of the way before I switch to. I've been working on it more or less since last November, because we've had a couple of long interruptions and absences along the way. Also because I've just been doing the challenge rooms for the last many streams, over the last few months it feels like, and steadily chipping away at them.
You lack finesse.
I think only about half my playtime in this game has actually been through the main adventure, because there's actually been quite a lot of added content that we've been working through. Whoop, just not managing to catch him here. Well, completely missed the timing.
We must follow Varum.
This will not be the attempt, I think, but didn't quite get knocked back. Nope.
This isn't the way.
Oh, missing everything.
Sargon.
Well, this could take a little bit of work here, but we will see. Yeah, I'm kind of getting all my ducks in a row for Switch 2 as well. And that is coming very soon now.
What a shame.
Haven't been able to stream too much lately, but hopefully we'll be able to pick that up. Nope, I'm just getting caught positionally by everything here. Oh, he's way out of the way of the special. This is going to whiff. Actually, it gives him a push across the screen. It just doesn't do much damage if you get that far out. Okay. Nope, just can't get the approach on him here. And we are out of potions. If we can just practice this enough to get to the phase transition, we'll be in much better shape. Okay, here's the dodging segment. We will eventually have to learn how to do it cleanly. Can't really just slide into everything, I think. Oh. Actually, don't want to slide too much. Oh, and we got caught. If I can cancel out of a slide a little bit more cleanly, that would be pretty beneficial.
We must follow Vara.
Nope. And expect him to get the jump on me to improve his angle that time. Okay, finally caught him here a little bit. Nope. A little off angle.
This isn't the way.
Nope. A little off again. He does have these fake outs every now and then. Wow, I didn't even get to land the first potion that time. Just expected to dodge that cleanly, but we're slightly out of position. Okay, good. I like when he gives me the fan-out attack that I can parry. Because that gives me something clean and easy to counter.
The lost Sargon.
Nope, getting caught by everything. Yeah, didn't expect a deflection in the back. I can't quite see when that is or isn't going to happen yet. I think I just haven't been able to read it. Whoa, that was different. Nope, just spending too long to get this stuff out of the way so we can try to approach him. I mean, we can take those out at range, but we don't want to deplete too much ammunition before we're ready to. We can actually try to get the level 2 power on him. That would be nice. Whoop, getting chopped up. Oh, getting chopped up by everything here. Whoops.
You lack finesse.
Yeah, the damage does deplete your meter a little bit, so we have to be mindful of that as well, and just try to retain our power. Okay, we actually dodged that cleanly that time. Oh, missed a dodge, or missed a block rather. Yeah, we don't want to be too distant from him when he fires, because it makes his firing angle a little bit too shallow, and when it's shallow, it's actually difficult for me to get around.
This isn't the way.
Nope, missed it. Too much going on for me here, I think. Yeah, I couldn't quite dodge them both.
The lost, Sargon.
Yeah, the first phase here depends entirely on dodging cleanly. Actually, I'd say everything we've seen so far in this fight depends on dodging cleanly. And so need to take it a little patiently sometimes just to see where the projectiles are going. No, sometimes we need to let them fire first and then get into the air to clear some space. It's a matter of knowing when to actually get into the air so we don't lose the opportunity to dodge if we need it. Good. And then we can try to just interrupt with the special sometimes. No, whoop, got caught in the back though.
We must follow Varum.
Yeah, you can't quite see to tell for when his attack is going to deflect from the back. It's just not something we've learned to read yet.
This isn't the way.
Well, still not at the dodging phase, so... Hope everything's out, and... Yeah, one more hit here and we're done. Well, might as well practice dodging pattern. You can actually take this patiently. It doesn't seem to get more aggressive if you try to clear the stars out slowly. You just leave him some room to fire. The issue is when he's got two stars going at once. Whoops, missed a block. Yeah, this is all just about learning the defensive method so far and trying to get the timings clean so we aren't obstructed by everything like we were just now. Nope, when he jumps up like that, that does catch me out. I'm getting chopped by everything. Nope. Nope, bad timing. Barely got any hits in this time. And yeah, the gaming stage, thanks for dropping by once again, and feel free to lurk as much as you need. This could take me a while, so we may be here for some time. I mean, sometimes the progress happens in bursts. That's what we found with some of the other expert mode bosses in this set of challenge rooms. That initially they just tear you apart, but then once you find a method that is actually reliable defensively, then things come together quite nicely. So,
We must follow Varum.
Sometimes I'm overcommitting to the sword attack here, not quite cancelling it out the way that we need to. Yeah, you can't cancel out with a third swipe on the sword, and so sometimes that is a bit of an issue for us.
This isn't the way.
Nope, was trying to land a special on him. Can we do it now? Yes. Okay. Didn't really do that much, though. We should maybe save for level 2. Yeah, and when buries one of the stars in the floor like that, it's a little bit difficult to see. So. Okay, here's the dodging phase. If we're chipped by the smallest thing here, we will lose immediately. Sometimes it's also a matter of picking a good sliding direction. I find that if you slide a little too much in that phase to dodge, then you just wind up under another beam.
What a shame.
Oh, got cut already. Nope, jumped a little too soon. Wow, and he's not letting me get anything done here.
You lack voice.
I'm underusing the double jump. I think I've been doing too many challenges that don't allow the double jump, and so we're actually not using it as much as I usually would as a defensive option. These challenge rooms in the Divine Trials all have preset loadouts, and they match different kinds of player states throughout your progression in the game, which means that we reverted to a very minimal moveset for some of them and had them gradually fill out. If we can get to the dodging phase at about 30% down of his health, so I guess, yeah, boss at about 60 to 70% or so, with 3 potions intact, that would be the sort of immediate objective in the short term. We still haven't learned the patterns past that point, which will no doubt have some complications. So we'll take this part patiently. Just let him shoot. Oh, we really can't dash into the beam like that. And just do a slow approach if we can. There isn't too much pressure except when it's got 2 red attacks at the same time, because that does force a dodge between them.
What a shame.
But yeah, we can always clear patiently. That's what we need to learn to do. Oh, yeah, okay. I see why it looked like there was a back deflection. It's actually because he dropped a star back there. Slightly out of view. When he drops one of the stars at ground level, I'm finding it a little bit difficult to perceive, but at least we know that's the issue now. That it's not that shots are deflecting, it's that he's actually dropping a star ahead of time, slightly out of the boundary. Again, we need to remember that double jump is an option here. Okay. Surprisingly effective now that we've worked that back in. Yeah, it turns out that was the issue all along, that we just weren't double jumping. It actually makes a huge difference defensively. Now, no potions left though. Even a quick double tap sometimes make a difference. So that was a very narrow one there. Okay, defensively we've been improving. Even though I've been on 0 potions for some time here after a couple of mishaps early on.
must follow Varum.
Oh. A little bit too much going on here. Yeah, sometimes we'll want to use the arrow in an emergency to clear space if we are way out of position. Okay. Actually didn't get hit. Oh, well, we got hit. And it was a hard hit there too. From poor timing or poor facing direction. I mean, we were quite low at that point, though. That stage of the fight.
This isn't the way.
Yeah. Prioritizing defenses. Way to go, I think. I mean, we can chip them down slowly, but what we can't do too much is recover health, so. Oh.
Lost, Sargon.
That was another one of those stars off screen that time. Nope. Bad call and a jump, and once again it was one of those stars that was dropped way down low. Sometimes they are off screen, so
What a shame.
to be aware of when that's the case. That was surprisingly effective. Got a little bit chipped that time though. Oh, finally giving me that attack, except we missed a deflection. Yes, so
You lack finesse.
it's when he drops the star in the corner. We need to be extra vigilant.
We must follow Varum.
Yeah, we'll just work our way across slowly until everything's clear, and then we can finally get a little bit of aggression in. More deflections like that we get without taking damage better, so we can charge up our power.
This isn't the way.
Well, there have been some improvements. Nope. Couldn't drop out of there quickly enough.
Lost, Sargon.
Still not really preserving any potions going into the phase transitions, though. We have a lot of work to do when it comes to dodging.
What a shame.
Well, let's see.
You lack finesse.
Okay. Not taking damage so far, which is an improvement. But then, of course, things can deteriorate very suddenly in a fight like this if you just get knocked back and comboed out into a bad position. Now, he's giving me a lot of good deflections this time. We might even get up to level 3 here. Not that we have a level 3 power to work with, but then let's try the arrow power just to see how much damage it does. It doesn't do much if you have stars out in the field because it does not hit him. It hits the stars, so we need to be aware of that.
We must follow Varum.
And once again, we patiently try to get across without being caught in a position where we're not jumping. glad he's given me that attack a few times this time, though.
This isn't the way.
Let's try to come down here. We might actually be able to get into the phase transition with 3 potions intact, which is what we were going for. And yeah, here we are. So 3 potions still up. Let's try to get a dodging phase done. Best attempt yet by far. Go. Okay, first time we actually made it through that. Well, second time maybe.
All those battles.
And there will be some variance to this pattern that we'll need to look out for. But the fact that we have 3 potions up is great news. Let's see what changes now, though. Oh, that's... yeah, that's not good. So he's got this surrounding attack here. Okay, there's going to be a double parry. We just need to watch out for that. That's going to... This, that's going to trick us out here. That can be parried. Oh, except he's also getting into a counter there, so we can't attack into that. Takes about a... Ooh, takes several rounds. That's not good at all. So yeah, we need to block that, and we need to not attack into his block. And, well, just too much going on here. That's okay, we're learning this pattern. And then this goes back into some of the phase 1 material. We'll just try to get out of here. Oh, bad timing there, that time. Okay, we're almost certainly going to lose here, but the fact that we're getting closer to that 50% mark and seeing more of phase 2 is good news just for the learning process. So, yeah, getting out of phase 1 here with about half a bar of damage was already a big improvement for us, so yeah, we'll take this patiently. That pays off. Of course, we shouldn't whiff every attack. We need to watch out for him dumping stars everywhere.
What a shame.
Okay, good. All clear. Nope. No longer at full health, but yeah, again, it can deteriorate quickly. I should actually try to bank up power and just try to drop specials on him all over phase 2. Just to get out of phase 2 quickly if we can. Oh, didn't quite read the timing on that properly. Okay, let's drop 1 attack here.
We must follow Vara.
Oh, a little out of position that time. I think we should maybe be using the warping power as a repositioning tool in an emergency. There's a lot that we still need to improve on in this fight, so Already spent one potion before the phase transition, so it's not our best attempt already, but...
Lost, Sargon.
We dodge patiently. Clear space, and then get back into them. Okay, let's see about the dodges. Nope, getting a little bit chipped here. Okay.
After all these
Not
years,
as bad as it could have been.
those battles, no one has pushed me this far.
Nope, and he flanks you. Okay, okay, okay. I was expecting him to attack straight into me, and that was very much not the case. Okay, good. We can attack into him this way, and now the first attack is on cooldown. There is a cooldown, we have to remember that. Let's see if we can just slap him with that. That's good. Yeah, we slide through that. That's how to do it. Oh, missed the dodge that time. Or the block, rather. Oh, and then went straight into the punch. Nope, just... Only got the first block there that time. Yeah, so he flanks and then we have to make sure we face the other way. Because that keeps catching me by surprise that he does that. I wonder if he always does that. Or if it's dependent on his distance from the player. Anyway, that was one of the better attempts. In that we are getting to learn what to do with phase 2 just a little bit. Making a little bit of headway. Have to be mindful of the cooldown on the powers, of course, but if we can get both the level 1 and level 2 attacks down
What a shame.
during phase 1, that would be, or during phase 2 rather, that would be best. We can just try to burn him through that as quickly as we can. Nope, getting chopped a little bit too much here without having done really any damage. Nope, bad dodging all around.
We must follow Vara.
Yeah, we'll just try to play defensively to clear space, and then you can kind of duck under those. I don't know how much we want to depend on that, but in a pinch, that is an option. We do want to juggle them against the wall if we can.
This isn't the way.
Nope, getting hit by too many things here. We had full potions at that point, but just no opportunity. Oh,
Lost, Sargon.
accidentally pushed into one beam, which is something that happens sometimes when we to contend with two of them at once. Too much. Too much. It seemed like something was kind of bugged on the side there too, like the beam was just kind of hanging around past the boundary, and that threw me off a little bit visually. Nope, couldn't dodge them both at once that time, just got a little bit cornered. And once again, just out of the position in the air. Well, not good. We're about to burn the second potion and not even out of phase 1 yet. And have really not done much damage. I have to have the patience to play very reactively in this phase, I think. And yeah, he dropped another one of those off screen, or off the boundary rather.
You lack finesse.
So we'll be using 2 potions before the phase transition. Not good at all. Because the idea is that we do want to get more practice into all the dodging in phase 2, and just haven't really had an opportunity this attempt. Takes a while to get back there.
Follow Vara.
Sometimes we just use arrows to clean up some space here, I think. And once again, we just had a shot that was much too horizontal coming towards us, and it was a little bit difficult to deal with when dodging. And yeah, didn't account for the star off the side again.
Isn't the way.
I wonder if he only does a counter when he's being juggled in the air. I think he might, but... Oh, are we down at 0 potions already? Okay, well. Not a good attempt, I suppose. Yeah, no, he does that from the ground as well. That counter maneuver. Okay, dodge phase. I don't really know how to do this cleanly. Missile command phase, as it were.
After all these years,
Okay,
all
we'll listen to
those
him
battles
blab for a moment. It is skippable, but
pushed me
I can
this far.
sometimes use the moment to kind of adjust to what we need to do in the second phase here. So he's going to go... Okay. No. So I thought he was going to flank and that I would turn around and block him that way, but I guess that might not consistently be the case. And I'm trying to get a read on when he's going to flank and when he isn't. Okay, I actually managed to dodge that. Whoop, didn't manage to dodge that. Let's just drop this on him quickly. Yeah, we'll just dodge through it. It is an attack that can be parried and probably would do very well for you. Oh, no. When he gets into a pool like that, he does counter, and so we should not attack into that, because otherwise that is going to be a game over right here. No? Maybe not. Well, the next little chip of damage will be it. Okay, let's just dump the arrow on him. Oh, how did that whip that time? Yeah, so that is something that we can counter. It's just I don't know when he's going to flank me with that attack, and we just don't have a good read on it yet. because we need the correct facing direction if we're going to walk into that. That's okay. Again, though, despite a really bad start, we got a bit more of a look at phase 2, which is what we were hoping for. Again, if it gets crowded here, we should go for the arrow. So taking one hit so far here in phase 1, which... we'll try to combo him as best as we can. Yeah, again, I didn't know that dropped something off the corner.
Must follow
Nope, that dodge there. Okay, clears his face. Still on first potion at least. We managed to see the grounded star that time. Okay, there was a star off screen that we're not seeing. We need to watch out for that in case it gets activated. As it might.
This isn't the way.
We'll take this patiently. Oh. Approach. Still on first potion, which is good news. And then... okay, didn't quite deflect into him that time, but at least we didn't get hit. Oh, did get hit very much that time. Okay. Oh, nope. Walked right into that one. Which is too bad because, again, we're already one potion down going into next phase here. It should be soon. It's at about 60%, I think. Not sure what it is exactly, but... it's not, oh, no. Don't want to get caught in the air. We're going to be 2 potions down in just a moment here, so... difficult to get a word in edgewise here.
We must follow Vara.
Nope. Missed completely. Anyway, phase transition, 1 potion up. Really. Oh, nope, bad. Okay, slightly chipped.
After all these years,
Yeah, okay, so we'll have to worry about the
no one has pushed me this
forward
far.
lunge that he does with his fists. Again, I don't know when he goes around me. It may be distance dependent, but we're not really sure. Okay, so he didn't quite reach that time. Oh, what's going on? Okay, can we get the arrow shot on him? Yes. Nope, attacked right into him, and that's going to chip him down pretty much almost to 0. I don't think it outright kills you, but it gets you down to the minimum HP, and whoops, nope, not once again. Okay. Yeah, just dodging away from him works for that, I guess. Oh, whiff. It's going to completely miss him. We're actually doing a reasonable amount of damage, actually. If we look at the bar here, we're past the 50% mark, which is good. I think there's probably another phase transition at 1/3, like another dodging phase. And then the level 1 attack is off cooldown now, so we can try to get another one down here. Doesn't do very much, but it does knock him back. The level 2 attack actually does damage, which is what we should go for if we can. Okay, let's try that, as advertised. He's pretty far down, actually. I mean, we're in no potions, and things can get complex here in a moment, but... Oh, nope. Attacked right into the block, once again. And that might have spoiled the attempt right there. Okay, reasonably close. That was the best attempt by a fairly long shot that time, despite how messy the first phase was.
This isn't the way.
Okay, clear patiently. And then... Now, we have to be careful because if he does the knockback, we don't want him to do a knockback into the stars. And... let's try to get an approach here. And we've got an opportunity.
What a shame.
Just approach patiently if we can. Oh, no, got caught way out of position that time. It's got a little bit stuffed.
You lack finesse.
Oh, got caught. Once again by the star that was tucked in the corner. Very hard to see.
We must follow Vara.
Okay, let's just touch both.
This isn't the way.
Clear space. Just bait the attack first. And then... yeah, we're one potion down, but we're still at full after that, so... could be worse. Nope. Straight into it. He gives me lots of parryable attacks where he fends out the arrows, then we do much better. We're not doing well this time. Probably burning 2 potions again before the phase transition. And we're going to save our power meter just for the next phase. Whoa, yikes. Very messy this time. Not boding well for what comes next. Yeah, I don't want to burn the special them just yet. We need them for the second phase a lot more than we do here. But we should get into the transition right here. I think he's going to jump anytime now. There we go. Okay, we'll do a bit of missile command here. And not very well, unfortunately. But we do have enough power to get into the arrow. Now we need to not attack into his counter when he gets his shield up. That's something that practically ended our run the last time around. Oh, nope, missed. I was trying to dodge around him. That did not go. And that completely whiffed. Wow. No. And what did we say about not attacking into the counter? We attacked into the counter. Yeah, very messy. So best we've done so far is to get him down to about 30 to 40%. Didn't seem like there was another dodge phase at that point, but I was kind of expecting one. Maybe it's at about 25%. Not exactly sure. Oh. Yeah, dodging under seems to work for the spheres. We just need to not run into everything else while we're at it. Saving up for the level 2 power I think is advisable if we don't totally whip it. We kind of have to hit him at point blank, I think. It's just not jumping around it. But it does a lot more damage than the level 1 power. Like I was saying, can we catch him? No, we didn't. Huh, I wonder. I wonder why it is we couldn't catch him with it. Maybe it's highly dependent on elevation. We never really used that power very much in the main game, so I don't know it with a lot of finesse. The level 1 power hits him much more cleanly and knocks him back, but it doesn't hit for very much. So that's more of a get out of trouble move to act as an alternative to a dodge, I suppose.
You lack finesse.
Okay, got a star on the ground over there. Oh, nope, just can't approach him.
We must follow Vara.
Nope. Taking a little too much already, considering how much or how little we've accomplished on our end. Okay. At least we did read the star that clipped into the floor accurately that time.
This isn't the way.
Again, clear patiently.
Lost, Sargon.
And whoop. Actually, got quite a few hits in that time before he put his escape up that time. Oh, nope. I was right into it. Again, we'll go patiently as we can. Nope. Didn't quite manage that time. We'll need to spend one potion going into the next phase, I think. When the opportunity presents itself. Level 2 power.
Must follow Vara.
Again, we need to not whiff with the level 2 power. That seemed to miss rather easily despite how well it damages him
This isn't the way.
when it does land. Clear patiently. And we just need to get in and get a hit down here. Should get into the phase transition soon. I think he's going to jump up. Okay, not as bad as it could be. One potion down so far, but actually reasonably clean dodging phase this time. Let's not speak too soon.
After all these years,
Okay, so we need to watch out for the punch, we need to watch out for the counter.
no one has pushed me this far.
And we need to actually hit with the special. Okay. Can we hit? Yes. Nope, and straight into the counter. We get so easily baited into that. It takes off quite a few bars, so. And that's going to be... Nope, missed both blocks. That's not good, because we do need those blocks land cleanly in order to get our power back up. Okay. Okay, got it. We'll try to back up to level 2, though. Be careful not to attack into him. Can we get him here? Yep, nice shot. And that's going to... Whoop. Drop a star there, but we will get out of that, and yeah, doing decent damage now. And you can get in range to not with the arrow. That's actually going to hit him decently hard. Now, do we have any kind of phase transition? Let's not get baited in the counter. Good. Maybe the first time we've actually not been baited. Good. Pretty solid now. No potions left in my end, but... Oh, and he caught me. That didn't do too badly, though. It's the counter attack from him that really punishes like crazy. Okay. Good. Reasonably close, so let's just be careful. Good. You know what? Let's drop the level 1 attack. Just in case it does enough. We got him. Except we need to hit the UTE here. Which I totally forgot about. Well, that was very sudden progress, actually. We went from having quite a struggle with him to just suddenly smoking him on this attempt, and so it was mostly just not being baited into every single counter stance that he does. As the breakthrough at the end there. That's going to be it for the Divine Trials. Finally, 100% complete on those.
I only relied on this.
Definitely a cut above the main game in difficulty.
A true warrior needs no weapon.
Well, we earned this ending. Let's just watch it again.
Wanted this fight. Me neither. Sargon.
And we are not even too far into the stream, about an hour so far, which is decent. It's par for the course for most of the Divine Trials challenge rooms, including some of the previous hard mode bosses. pretty satisfied with how we put that one together. So, success. Okay, it'll be nice to be back to my own loadout at long last. Icy Azra Shield. Explodes on contact with an attacker projectile. Oh, I see. So it is if you hold the block, though. Okay, yeah. I decided to collect all of these before finishing the main game in case we wanted to use any of them, but I don't really know if any of them fit into a loadout that well. Not that I've even played with my own loadout in the longest time. Let's take a look at the flower skin. All of these really were just a change in tattoos and pants, so they weren't really full costumes the way we had so far. But if it's reasonably appealing, maybe we'll switch to it. We'll take a look. So, Divine Trials are all, at last, complete. And, yeah, we got them down. And, might as well screenshot this as well, just to make sure we've logged when we have the whole thing complete. So anyway, let's get back into our own loadout, finally. For the first time in months, really. So yeah, as I was saying, we are pretty far from a full 100%. I was hoping to at least finish up things like Xerxes coins, because those are platforming trials, and those have been really reasonably entertaining, but we're missing a few of those, I think. And we're early enough to stream that maybe we can search for some in the relevant zones. So we're just missing one here, one here, one here, so maybe. But definitely one thing we don't know is how much there will be to the royal corridors, whether there will be a significant chunk of content past a point of no return before we get to the boss itself. And yeah, we won't be doing a full scrub for all the collectibles, I don't think. Particularly because we didn't really ever wind up solving some of the puzzles, namely, if we can take a view of this one here, you can see we put the marker here way back in January, almost 4 months ago. This one we never figured out. It seemed like we wanted something to get crushed on either side and needed to transport some kind of object to the middle, but we never figured out what it might be. That seemed to be the implication. There was also an open ceiling here that we didn't know what to do with. And this seemed like we needed to complete the tic-tac-toe or noughts and crosses, and we couldn't find the panel that we probably wanted to place there. I was thinking maybe you need to use a chakram to fill in a circle, but that wasn't the case. So we have a sense of what this is asking for, but we might not have the right object for it. The other one was there's just one room here that we never figured out how to access because it seemed like you needed to drop something like a very heavy anchor or something through the floor because we had broken the floor like that previously, but we just never figured that out. So I think what we will do is, as originally intended, I think we will just try to go for the finale. And if we come back to this eventually to do the 100% sweep, we will someday. I mean, it would be fun to show some things like the 3 remaining Xerxes coins if we can find them, because they are platforming challenges. But at this point, I don't really know where they could be. We just haven't been on this map in an eternity. So I think what we'll do is we'll just go for the finale, and then we'll see what time remains to top that off with anything else. Maybe it's straight into a boss. Maybe there's some activity before then. But we will finally try to hit end credits today. Let me try to remember what I'm holding, too, in terms of amulets, in case we want to make any adjustments or changes. So what have I got right now? Standard sword attacks. Health. Health. Yeah, we had a lot of self-heal and some damage to compensate, I think. And yeah, we're not quite that perfect. Didn't get much use out of that one. Some of these we got out of the Mask of Darkness DLC very early on in the game as well. Yeah, time crystals, we might be able to take that off. We don't really need currency at this point, so might be better to replace that with something that's a bit more combat oriented for 1 point. And yeah, we put tons of self-replenishment on simply because that seemed to help quite a bit. But after doing so many challenge rooms without it, maybe we don't need to be quite so reliant. The refill quiver over time seems to be one of the better choices for a 1-pointer. And damage taken into ads for build-up is also quite good. Because, of course, we can charge up the self-heal. And yeah, this is good when you're at full power against a boss, so I don't know how often that will actually be the case. And so I think what we'll actually do... How many arrows do we have? 30. We don't really need the arrow refill necessarily, but... Yeah, Prosperity Bird is also free. Oh yeah, because this is something that I think just comes along for the ride if you own the full game, including all DLC. And that's, again, for the map sweep, which we might not be doing this stream. So, I think we'll take this off. Put on either the arrow reload or one of the damage abilities. Arrow damage or really attack power. I think one of these might be upgradable as well, and we just never really looked into it. Yeah, so this is one of the ones that we got off of the Divine Trials. We might as well use it for its own sake. And let's keep that, I guess. As far as 1-pointers go. We might also... Ah, yes, this is a time bubble. We've got that already. Yeah, because the gradually restore health, this was good for platforming challenges. It might not be as necessary against something like a boss. And so if we want to get some of our attack power back up, that might be a better idea. But I think we'll keep things as is, just for now. And we'll see. I mean, you know, you're constantly reminded by the game to consider changing your loadout whenever you wipe out a boss, but we never really do that. We just tend to stick with our plan. Now, I think we had determined previously that none of the Divine Trials amulets were upgradable. We might as well do a quick check here. Yeah, because we're not quite there. Arash's Arrowhead, which we had also considered as a 1-pointer, is upgradable. We might dump some cash on that. We might dump some cash on a little bit of everything, really, but definitely prioritizing the things that we might, in fact, use. Because that might be more helpful than the arrow replenishment up to 5, unless we're really dumping our ranged attacks and everything. But we'll just have it ready in case. It does cost one of my Xerxes coins, but we're pretty loaded with coins, so I'm not too worried about that. So we might switch to that one since it is upgradable instead. Convert a moderate amount of damage taken in after build up. We'll level this one up as well, I think, just because it was the other one we were considering putting in. And just filling up the meter constantly is really not a bad idea. And what else do we have here? Yeah, let's just put in some more. Very tempted to switch back into that one too, in fact. Because, I mean, we're likely to take damage on something like the boss. So, then poison reduction is pretty good too. But anyway, let's keep this for the moment. I have a healing pool. I think what have I got for my level 3? I think it's the Bahamut attack. Yeah, Bahamut's Rage. Pretty decent as long as you don't completely whiff the way we do sometimes. Because I found pairing a level 1 with a level 2 might be better. We're definitely keeping the healing pool. It's been by far the most useful ability in the game. At least the way I play. Alright, let's get back into the map for the first time in months, and let's go for what is potentially a finale. There is fast travel. We haven't used it all game. Fast travel, what is that? Anyway, this gate here is where we're going. So we'll just do the climb. If I remember how. I think here in the upper city, again, we're missing 1 Xerxes coin, so if we see it along the way, we'll grab it. But if we don't, we won't. Because we spent plenty of time before just combing over the whole map. I think we are eager to have some sense of closure here, even if it's not quite 100%. We did a lot of challenge content. And having 100% on both Divine Trials and Mask of Darkness, I think, was quite nice. Big sense of accomplishment here already, so. It would have been nice to get all the puzzles as well, but I absolutely refuse to look up solutions, and that's just the price you pay when you would rather not clear it than have to look it up. And yeah, straight up. I don't remember if right or left would be better here. I guess left side would give you the lift up top, but right side would be fine too. Also, we have our Chakram teleport back after such a long time. It's kind of nice to actually, whoops. Get back into our own progression through this game as a character. You know what? I'm rethinking this. After having upgraded it, we're going to do the damage to Athera conversion instead, I think. I'm looking at this. I don't use arrows so often that it's going to be an issue, particularly against something like a boss fight, I think. What was this? White Peacock? Oh yeah, that's the shotgun spread, essentially. Yeah, now that we have this leveled up, I think we'll stick with that instead. What was this again? Citadel Knowledge, yeah. There's a lot of lore in this game that we didn't really read through carefully. I'm sure it's interesting you put all the pieces together, but... Oh, it would have been easier to take this room on the outside. Whatever. We don't... Oh yeah, that's right. We have to actually change the state here. And that's okay. I know we have to switch there. We haven't done this in months. We have to do this properly. Oh, nope. Switched a little too quickly. You know, we should just take the easy route. I'd rather not fuss with it. We're way too rusty with this game. these big guys. Well, after all the challenge rooms that we've been doing, I think we're really too concerned about them. Oh. You know what? Just do that. Now I remember if we grapple out and we can just get up this way. Doing all the challenge rooms has taught me quite a few fundamentals that we previously didn't really practice that much. I think we can just take this up. Calling the lift. But yeah, definitely with things that we previously underused, like the grapple and the charge attack, we're just much more accustomed to them now. After clearing some of the challenges that depended on them. I don't remember, can I go up this wall? Not really. And we wouldn't want to anyway, because this is the gate up. We'll head to the next tree, and then we'll pretty much be there. I can recall this was a room full of snipers, but... Anyway. Chakram warp is very satisfying. I'm doing a quick climb back. Definitely one of the traversal powers that kind of surprised me. We didn't think of that some of the traversal problems would be solved that way. Necessarily. Oh yeah, this is the sniper room. All the burning arrows that can be a problem sometimes. Just get up here. Sure, we'll just knock him down. And just try to get through this bit quickly. Get him out of the way. And then we just need to go up from here. Oop. And further up. Okay. Now, getting closer here. We might want to save in the next tree. I'm sure there will be some kind of save points once you're actually through there, though. We'll see. Like I said, no idea what the scope of the finale is, whether it is its own platforming section on top of a boss, or just a boss, or something in between. Really have no idea. Okay, so here we are. Main quest complete. And yeah, I believe this is the point of no return. So let's grab a tree quickly, although I'm sure, once again, there's going to be a safe past the gate. I really would be surprised if there weren't. But since we're here, we'll just grab that in the adjoining room. Talk to all the characters and then get in.
I do admire you, Sargon. You don't need Artaban or Nade's help to get here.
So the summit of Mount Kaf is where it will all play out.
Considering what Varum is after, he should be in the Hall of Divination by now.
I must stop him before he absorbs the heart of the Simorg.
And that power in the wrong hands could destroy Persia.
The Simorg's feathers. I have some of them. I know they don't belong to someone like me.
Bloodline is not everything.
It's your actions that matter.
And look how Varum changed. You must defeat him,
I'll try to save him first. It may be the last time we meet.
Sargon. Bravery is what makes you immortal.
The fate of Persia depends on you.
Yeah, because there are two characters in this plot who have a legitimate claim to being the Prince of Persia, and the player character is neither of them, despite the title. But he's got all the powers, he's got all the moves, he's the real prince that counts. So let's get in there and play. At long last. And let's see what awaits us. World corridors. So surely this will be a full-size segment to find a room that Varum is in, perhaps. And yeah, it is something that is part of the Upper City zone, so it's not a separate zone. And so we don't know how substantial this is or isn't, but we'll find out quickly. Can't quite catch the wall there. Oh, it's one of these. Haven't seen them in a while. They weren't really in any of the challenge rooms, so I don't know that I remember how to fight them. Oop. I think we just shot them. Yeah, I mean, we have... Or rather, I thought we had arrow damage. No, I switched that. We switched to the replenishment. Come on. Try to charge into me, I dare you. Oh. Not accustomed to having such a huge life bar after all the challenge rooms we did with reduced loadout. There we go. Hadn't seen the little Bayonetta witch time bubble in quite a while as well, since... Again, it's been months since we've played with our setup. Okay, we know from all the challenge rooms we did, snipers first. Because the burning damage over time is just too much to deal with. Okay. You know what? We should not be losing to this stuff after all we've been through. Let's be careful here. You know what? We can grip the shields. I know this because we did challenge rooms where that was relevant. Because we can use the grapple as a shield breaker. And we know that. They're too heavy to be pulled back, but the grapple does work for shield break. Because this was specifically one of the enemy waves that we had to deal with in the challenge rooms in the Divine Trials. We've had plenty of time to figure them out. You know what? We're right next to a tree, aren't we? Let's just heal up here. Unless the tree respawns the enemies. I actually don't remember if it does. Or if I'm thinking of the rule set in a different game. I think it does. But... yeah, which makes sense. But anyway, we have to heal over time regardless, so... we did have to spend one potion here, but I'm not too fussed about that. Let's check the top right here, see if there's anything going on. I don't think there's anything optional in this section, though. But we can always check. See if there's anything up here. Not really. We get to see that beautiful statue in the background. In its full glory. Okay, let's grab that. Yeah, once again, we can get a shield break on these guys that we can. Maybe once we get rid of this one. Here we go. There's a shield break. Playing a little bit sloppy here, but that's okay. Anyway, this is a palace that does not lack for scale. Okay, another little combat room here. Yeah, it's mostly a combat-oriented finale than combat gauntlet going up to the boss. Once again, we're going to do what we did in the challenge rooms and pocket one of the snipers until we get rid of the other one. And we get a mind control off of it that can give me about 4 shots. Well, assuming it doesn't get cut down first. We'd better... Oh, I was about to hit the potion there and we just missed. Okay. So it is in fact still possible for me to take a death from time to time, despite all the practice we've gotten. That was very incautious though. You know what, we can just skip these. And if we pass some of the challenges along the way, then it doesn't spawn a full set of enemies. So, this doesn't seem to. Let's get rid of this one though. This is part of the same room. Okay. Get a shield break on him. Let's try to play it a little bit more cleanly this time. Again, we'll try to pocket one sniper. And, well, once we get there. And there we go. Slice the bird. Okay, once again, if we have snipers here, we're going to pocket them first. And then just deflect into the other one if we can, or just cut them down right away like that. Put a potion up here. And then problem. And then okay. Oh, does he still have a shield up? He does not. That's okay. Oh. Okay. Would have preferred not to burn a potion on that, but it's okay. I'm sure it'll be some kind of replenishment before the boss room itself. So yeah, it looks like it's just combat gauntlets until that point, which is fine. Not too concerned. And yeah, we have another tree coming very, very soon. So, boss time very soon, by the looks of it. Here's a warp point. Not that we've ever used these. But for the benefit of people who want to go back and sweep the map before they continue past this point. This looks like it's the last save point. Let's see what's on the other side. Oh, this looks like it's young Varum warped through time. Before we do that, we're going to proceed over to this side just to see what is here before we go in. Because that is almost certainly the finale, as far as we can tell. I wonder what we can do to double jump out of that. No, not quite. Yeah, not really, nothing to explore here. Let's just get in there and fight.
Varum,
My father gave you the key to the palace, didn't he? Then you can enter the Hall of Divination, ready to face me, the older me, who's lost control.
Younger him has a very mature perspective on everything that is going on here. Seems resigned to his fate.
you've seen your older self.
I just know he's there, and I don't want to be like him. Sargon, you're still my friend, are you? There has to be a way to save him.
I'll find a way. I didn't give up on you, and I won't give up on him.
There will be no turning back. Are you ready? Yes, we are. Okay, final boss time. What level of difficulty am I on? Again, I'm on Hero, which is one preset above normal. It's a Ubisoft game, so there's quite a lot of granularity to the settings. But I did use the first preset above normal, so effectively hard mode. And it is this my first time? Yes, it is.
Imagine all the good we could do for humankind.
Varum, no human is meant to wield such power.
I am no mere mortal. I am the first immortal. Sargon, you must understand.
Not at all thinking I might be underleveled? No, not at all.
I saw our kingdom engulfed in flames. Our people suffering
I'm
for
at
nothing.
about 92% collection in this game. Not quite 100, but
From within.
I'm very well outfitted.
We can stop it, Sargon. We can build a world free of deceit, lies, human weaknesses. Help me save Persia. Give me your powers.
He wants my feathers, and I think we will decline.
No.
And then we fight. Again. We've had a few rematches, Varum and I. Have I upgraded? Yeah, here and there. There's
And time and space.
a lot of customization to the game. I'll show you if I have a chance to look at the menus at some point, but we are getting into the boss, so...
Create a new, perfect empire.
Varum! Varum, no!
You should have joined me instead, Sargon.
And we finished all of the DLC content at this point as well. Everything that was added post-game. Which is supposedly harder than the main game, so we'll see how we do against the final boss. In the main story progression, the bosses have generally not given us too much trouble, but this is the final one, so who knows. But yeah, we're about as ready as we will be. I decided not to do the full 100% sweep on stream, because we have been putting off this ending for
Destroyed
months.
Everything. Mount Carve. Persepolis.
Looks like we're in the future.
There's nothing left. No immortals. No one. Only the void remains.
just watch the cutscene.
Mighty Simorg, you were the one gifting me life time and time again. Why did you choose me rather than the others?
Yeah, because you see alternate versions of yourself over multiple
Not sure I
timelines,
understand.
and occasionally fight your clones. Alternate possibilities. Oh, I forgot to check the costume that we unlocked.
They are always
The flower
with
skin.
me. I can't defeat them.
He who accepts the universe becomes the universe.
What if it's too late? I don't exist.
So by that logic, he who controls the
I couldn't
spice...
stop Varum.
Well, let's not think too deeply into that. Anyway, you have all these alternate Sargons here. I think we've had our fill of them after the 1 versus 100 challenge last
I
time.
can still save him.
I mean, there weren't 100 of them, but there were many, including the mini-boss at the end of that sequence that held us up for several hours. It is time to follow our path. Okay, Crossroad of Times. So yeah, we're past the point of no return. There's no map here, but it looks like there might be a small segment here before the fight itself. That is just all running, perhaps. And mostly just a way of setting the stage. Oh yes, I guess we'll do a few things. First of all, I was going to check the skin that we unlocked. We'll likely stick with shadows. So yeah, these 4 here are the ones that are unlocked in Divine Trials. We finished the 4th stone, and so it gives you this recolor. The Shadows costume comes from finishing the DLC. We were also rocking the purple Rogue Prince for the first few streams that we did of the game before we finished Mask of Darkness, but I've liked wearing this one ever since. And of course there are some of the other retro costumes as well that are references to other games in the series. But we're sticking with this. The interesting thing too is that when you see cutscenes that have flashbacks to different parts of the game, it actually does faithfully recreate the costumes that you were wearing at a time. So we did have Shadows Prince meet Rogue Prince at one point, which was kind of neat. Anyway, so just to answer one of the questions we got earlier about whether we've upgraded, I mean, we have spent the collectible currency on upgrading many of the amulets that we have plugged in here, very much like the charm system in Hollow Knight or the badge system in Paper Mario. You just have a certain allocation of points. You expand it over the course of the game, and you just plug these in, and you can upgrade them individually as well. Most of them up to +2, and so that's what we've done. And I'm pretty happy with the loadout that we have. We have a few side quests that remain unfinished. This one is for filling out all of the puzzles, and we were missing a small part of that. And yeah, just a few dangling loose ends, but for the most part, we're in good shape. We are at about 92% on the map, although it's actually something you can only see when you are loading into the file. You can't actually see the percentage in-game as far as I can tell. And what am I sitting on right now? 12 life bars. I don't know how many more are available in the game. Probably not much more than another one at most, I would guess. But anyway, we will make it through this little jaunt through the apocalypse here that just happens to have some gravel points. And let's see what the fight looks like. We're at the end of time. By the looks of it. And Varum has long ascended.
Be the first to witness the birth of a new world, Sargon.
Varum, time, and space. So we'll see. I mean, in the previous rounds with him, he also had a
The
rewind
world
time
you have
ability, I
in
think.
mind cannot exist.
So we'll see what this fight amounts to.
I am the one and only, the creator. A new world is not up for debate. It manifests itself for all.
He's got a full set of wings here, possibly from having collected the Cimeric powers. Okay, let's see what the fight is like. We don't know the pattern, we've never seen this. Let's just read it. This can be parried, good. Can I get in with the grapple? I think that's mostly for dodging purposes. And that's parried as well, but... Oh, what does this do? Oh, okay, we need to probably put the shade out of there in case it contracts. Alright, that's important to know, so... Are we able to tap him here? Yes, we can. So... We chip away at him while we have a warp point on the outside. Oop. Oh, no. Wow, that hits hard already. Almost all the way down on the bar. Oh, missed a block. Yeah, he does hit pretty hard. That's the thing we need to be... Okay. Nope, missed a block once again. I mean, this is just the initial read-through. I expect to take a fair bit of damage here. Well, we just figure out what's going on. No, you can't duck out of that. Would have to double jump, I think, just with good timing. Okay. Nope. Just need to not get intercepted by that. Hang on, let's just set the warp again. Yeah, we can jump over that. And already chipping him down quite a bit, but this is just phase 1, I'm sure. Would be surprising if there were not multiple phases. Bad timing on that. We just need to account for the delay on that particular block. Yeah, given how much damage we're doing here, I'm sure this is just phase 1 of many, but... If we consistently drop this on the corner, I think we're fine. Can't actually damage him very much in that state. Oops. Chakram also gets you out of trouble here. Also, yeah. So if he charges up like that, then what happens? Not exactly sure, but... You can grapple up to him when he's in flight form like that. So that's phase 1 down, right? And then what happens? We can tap this. And what happens if we just break it? Then everything reverses back into him, and then we're back in phase 1. Right? Or not? So we need to look for some kind of vulnerability, perhaps? Or this is just... phase 2. This is phase 2, okay. Whoa, that's new. That's not well timed here on my part. Okay. So what's he doing here? Oh, that's just standing out of the lines. Not quite. That's okay, still learning it. Just a first read through. Okay, let's drop this on the side again. Yeah, you can grapple up to him. We should be able to do this phase cleanly at this point. We've had our first initial read-through of it. It seemed to go rather well. Oh, just... So, not sure if we can actually reduce or break this. Oh, yes, you can actually. That totally broke him. Oops. And jump out of that. Yeah, we can chop him down really quickly, in fact, in this phase. We're still on our first potion, which is good. Yeah, there's phase 1 down already. Good. That's what we need to be doing. Let's chop this apart. We haven't really even used the specials yet, so got a lot of room to burn him down in this phase if we can. Now let's watch the blocks here. Oh, missed. Okay. We better potion up. This is new. Oh, okay. Potion up again. Bad timing. Okay. This is just the same as phase 1, just with more coming down towards you. You know what? Let's drop a healing pool. Not that we'll be able to stand here for very long, but... Okay. Oh, we already dropped that. This. Nope. Okay, that squishes you right away. For several bars. Yeah, no, I accidentally spent my warp point. That's what happened there. We had it ready to go and expended it a bit too early. But anyway, phase 1, I'm just not worried about at this point. We should probably play a little bit more defensively when he's going orbs, so we don't get cut at close range, but... Okay. What did I say about not dying to that close range of it? But we have enough of the parry heal that that's actually not too much of a problem, I think. Oh, I was trying to get out of there. That actually hits you for several bars. That's not great, but... if we get around that, phase 1 is done. Nice and quickly. We'll actually have plenty of time for the self-heal too, to kick in here.
You cannot defeat a god, Sargon.
Oh, yes, I can.
I can't join you either.
Okay. It's gonna whirl, and then... I should be able to parry through some of those, but I just haven't. Oh, missed the block. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, because you warp out of one of them and you just keep attacking into him, then you can actually get him out. I can't quite get it in one cycle, but... oh, just didn't quite manage to get it that time. And when he does that, I do need to get out as well. Oh, missed a grapple point. That was unfortunate. Still on our first potion though, which is fine. Probably should use the Bahamut attack at some point to get out of here. Oh. Heal. Heal. Gonna need to parry a lot better than that. He's gonna do the wheel attack, that's fine. Just getting there. Nope, didn't quite make it over. Well, almost through this phase. Nope, not quite. Burning all my potions here. I'm sure there's going to be phase 3 after this as well, given this relative simplicity of this phase. Relative simplicity, I say, even though we're taking damage like crazy. Better get a healing pull down. Nope. Got me. Should have ducked down there. Yeah, we just took so much damage on that phase. We almost got him down in that bit. Let's play defensively when he's doing the orbs. I shouldn't grapple into him and attack him in that phase because we do take some needless damage on it. Okay. So on the second cycle, after we work like that, then we come back in and then get him down. That's exactly how to do it. And then orbs once again. Then we can follow. We need a better solution for that. It's just better double jump timing, I think. We're just jumping way too soon. Yeah, if we can get in nice and close, then we can jump over it. But if we can't get in nice and close, then we shouldn't try to rush it. And the deflection there is going to get him into phase 2. We're at pretty much a full health pool, full power, so about as good shape as we're going to be in. Going into phase 2 here. Phase 2 is quick enough, by the looks of it, that I'm certain there will be some escalation beyond that. How much more there will be, we'll find out. I feel like that absolutely could be parried, we're just not getting the timing. It's not giving me red flash, so... Oh, what a sweep. Didn't expect that. Yeah, it's just timing. And then we swipe it and we get out before he does the counterattack there. Oh, I was trying to block into that. Just slide under for that one, and then we just get back in with the grapple. And he sweeps. I was trying to get out of that, but we couldn't get it. Timing is just not quite there yet. Oh, yeah, and then that's parryable at the end of that. At the end of that sequence, we should remember that. Rush back in and finish him. You know what, Bahamut? Let's do it. Oh, wow, that does a lot. Not much of a health pool on him for this phase anyway, so... Okay, I'm sure there's going to be an additional phase. Let's get into phase 3 here. What's in phase 3? Let's find out.
No, this is my path. This is the only way.
Okay, now there are two of them. Just trying to deflect.
In the name of creation, perfect empire awaits. This is my sacred dream.
Okay. Warping back to the corner seems to be decent enough strategy over here. I was trying to get out of the sweep that time. We still don't have the method for it. This is new. And yeah, when he comes down, then he does just stab. Okay, at the end of the sequence, he attacks in. And then we can parry. Good. Sure you can. Better potion up. Didn't quite see myself over the shade there. Whoop. We'll do Bahamut at the end of this phase, I guess. Let's get in there and knock down a shield. And this should chop him all the way down. This should be a bit of overkill. Let's see if there's a phase 4. We kind of expect it. What's next? Are we going to see 3 of them? Okay, phase 4.
Will give me what's mine.
Okay, nothing to interact with here yet. I wonder if I'm able to counter any of this. So we get punched all the way through time, and then we have to do something else here, don't we? I think he's a little surprised
I'm here
that I still live.
from yourself.
I love the shadow of the Simurgh behind us there. Oh, we have costumes off now. We mean business. The mask is... Oh, wow. We got a super flashy sword. Yeah, we got this improved moveset where you basically get his Master Sword beam and improved speed and everything. Still need to dodge, of course, but we get a bit of a super-powered victory lap phase, perhaps. Not that it's freebie, by any means, but we're in good shape, and we're doing tons of damage against him, so... Oh, and we're fast enough that we can get through most of that, maybe? We should drop Bahamut on him when I can. I'm gonna wheel his way over. Okay. Whoop. I mean, I have my level 3 power ready to go. It's just waiting for him to stand still. We might chop him down before that becomes relevant, so... Out of range for my grapple. What's he doing? Okay. He parries at the end of the third one here. Oh, missed it. That was too high. We're super powered though, and so if we get through this phase, then what's next? We can do our special among specials. So yeah, pretty much just a victory lap phase.
True warrior needs no weapons.
It's your actions that matter.
Then I wish to...
If that's it for the fight, we felt way overpowered for it, actually. Okay, let's punch him through time. all the way back to the past, and main quest complete. Now, as usual, we might be tapping the screenshot button a bit here, but we'll see. Let's watch the scene play out.
Sargon. The Smorg's powers were never ours.
It is the end.
Anyway, back to mortality.
May you bring the seeds of hope to all in Persia.
So he's going to sever himself from our timeline, it seems. Oh, there's Eclipse motif. It is kind of a nice bookend to the scene at the very beginning of the game. And we'll flash back through the plot in the entirety of our team of immortals. Our super team. And all of the other foes we faced along the way. Alright, does that conclude Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown? Let's see, first of all, how much we're dealing with in terms of credits, or whether there will be an ending scene on top of that first. We'll find out. Yeah, let's see. Right, because we have to deal with Princess Han here. And also the betrayal of the Queen.
Here is
Is
Princess
a dangling thread.
The immortals have succeeded.
History will remember you. May our paths cross again.
Your Majesty.
I think he doesn't receive security once he's
Not
abdicated.
So,
There are rules for that sort of thing.
you brought back the Simorg, a triumph worthy of a king.
So now do we
Need
become
no
the
praise.
Prince of Persia?
My blades served the crown, but in Mount Kaf, they were bloodied with the truth. Orod, Menelaus, Rajin, Anahita, Varum, all dead now.
A small price to pay to secure my bloodline.
"30 years ago, King Darius was murdered. I'll let you confess that story.
Sargon?
Look at her queen. There's something she's not telling us.
Sargon!
Wonder if there is any additional scene for 100% completion like there is for many other works in this genre, but we'll have to find that out some other time. Well, not quite a smirk, but a bird is a bird. Ah, yeah, so it's this fellow. Our spirit guide through time. Our trickster friend. Okay, so quick scroll tells me that it's credits. Now the thing is, it's first of all offering me a quick scroll, and second, this is a Ubisoft game, which means that it's departments stacked upon departments, companies stacked upon companies, and so we probably will do a bit of a quick scroll through it at some point, because I just think back to how I played Rayman Legends over a decade ago, and the credits just kept on going. They were going for about, I think, 20 minutes. And there was a little mini game in there where you would run around with Rayman and break things on a screen, and it was interactive. And it's fun up to a point, and then you realize the credits are still going 20 minutes later. So we will take an opportunity, though, to just kind of talk a little bit about the experience, and maybe we will fast forward past that point, because as I said, we had been on this game for pretty much on and off the past 6 months or so. We have never really stretched out a single game over that span of time. Even the ones that we played for many, many more hours were typically crammed a little bit tighter. But regardless of the pace, which, you know, is in the past now and doesn't matter too much, I think this was a very thorough experience. We must have come to a total of, counting this stream's activity, a little bit over 75 hours in the completion. I would say maybe roughly 30 of those were just spent on, first of all, Mask of Darkness, and second, the Divine Trials. So the main game would be still pretty chunky when you consider it. That's still something that is larger than I expected in the first place, and also on the large side for the genre, with a map that kind of ends up being bigger than you might think from just looking at it. Maybe not quite the same feeling as something as Hollow Knight, where, you know, the zones just keep growing and growing in unexpected ways, and you find entire sections that you never knew existed. There's maybe a little bit of that here. And also a few loose ends here and there that are left to implication, like the whole bit with Ajdaha in the depths kind of sending you to snipe all the constellations with your special bow. There's a lot that's going on with things like that as well that seem to be open. And of course, to the extent that it was any loose end with the Immortals, and with Regin specifically, that was addressed with Mask of Darkness, but we only ever played the game with all of the DLC out of the box to begin with. We just saw this as a complete experience, and very, very complete it was. I think a lot of people who play this game immediately notice things like a screenshot bookmarking of the map, which is something that I think gets talked about a lot as one of its signal innovations in the Metroid, or as some will have it, the Metroidvania genre. But In the end, that's not what stuck out to me so much. It's more that this game is very comprehensive in that you kind of have it do a bit of everything, and it does most of it quite well. The combat is superb. I was comparing it repeatedly to games like Beautiful Joe specifically, which is still, I think, the upper benchmark for side-scroller brawling combat. But with some of the very Devil May Cry style combo play in this game, which is all about positioning, momentum, and juggling and stunning. The dynamism of it, I think, is really something to admire. And I think maybe it's just that we spent so much time on the combat challenges in recent streams when we were going through the Divine Trials, but certainly the sort of steady mastery of those systems all the way through to the Divine Trials, which kind of revealed some depth in the mechanics that it wasn't even properly exploiting in the main run, gives you quite a lot to chew on. I think there's a very evidently high skill cap that we just barely touched. As far as the content that we didn't complete goes, there's also a boss rush mode that we have not looked at, and which maybe we'll go back to at some point, but again, I'm kind of eager to sort of wrap up this game in its current state and finally have an excuse to put it aside. Not that we necessarily want it to be over, it's more that we've been on it for so long and it's felt so complete throughout, where, you know, you have the puzzles, you have the puzzle platforming with the kind of equivalent of a shadow clone mechanic in some ways, except with a bit of a planning element over it, where you overlap multiple Sargons in time. You have, of course, some of the individual puzzle rooms as well, some of which were just, you know, looking at a right background clue or finding the right object, but some of which were also satisfying to figure out in isolation. And just a tremendous variety of the platforming challenges as well, very much in keeping with classic trap-dodging Prince of Persia gameplay. But one thing I think I had raised over the course of discovering the moveset in this game is that, you know, in spite of it following a lot of the typical tropes for what you can expect, like how you know you're going to get an air dash, you know you're going to get a double jump, you know, looking at the environmental clues, that you will get a grapple, that each of the powers in the player's power progression actually did have a way of surprising me with how they were implemented. The flexibility of the grapple hook, for instance, for everything from shield breaking to repositioning, or things like the use of the phase shift power, which you can kind of see coming at first when you're playing through the bells, and you sort of understand that you're going to unlock it, but I think it was still something that made for very satisfying puzzle platforming. And the use of the warp, especially the warp plus the chakram, and the flexibility for the player to use that defensively in a lot of the boss encounters, I think that was something worth chewing on. And of course, what bosses as well, I think. Particularly the DLC fights with Rajan and Artaban, as well as some of the expert bosses. In the Divine Trials, I think the one that stuck out for me definitely was Kiana and Shamrosh. Just a total change-up of their previous pattern, and just very satisfying to master. The one today as well, Menelaus, that was pretty satisfying to put together, because, you know, once you get the dodges done, then the whole fight just comes together very, very quickly. But I think in terms of just the thoroughness of how a fight was developed, that the standard for the expert fights was certainly the Kiana Forest Queen battle. I don't want to zoom through this part because I always do look at music and orchestra credits credits, and we always like having a record of them. And this is sort of an interesting credits track that we're listening to here as well. And I wonder if there's going to be some kind of separate credit for that. But yeah, let's see how quick the quick scroll is. Let's just kind of zip through. Is it like a really fast zoom? I guess it is. If there's anything that we really want to stare at carefully, we will. Because, like I said, I'm accustomed to Ubisoft games having extremely long credit sequences, just because of the sheer scale of a lot of their productions. I understand that The Lost Crown isn't really kind of at the very top line of budget scale and overall scope. Oh, here is voice acting credits for different languages as well, actually. I think that was the voice acting credit there for the Farsi localization, which is another thing that has come up with this game, actually, that you have an authentic localization that would normally not be served. And then, yeah, you have French credits here. I think I must have just skipped through the English ones rather too quickly, not knowing they were coming. Though, maybe we'll have to go through those afterwards as well. But, you know, it's easy to look up this kind of thing. And yeah, you have every localization in here, it seems. Fully credited. And yeah, Ubisoft Montpellier took the lead on this, and we had remarked repeatedly of how, you know, even if we didn't know that for a fact, that the lineage of the platforming from Rayman Origins and Legends rather, was something that was very clear. Certainly with the way the flow works in terms of the dashing, the wall jumps, etc. And yeah, Luca, we just hit GG on this after far too long. We didn't quite hit 100%. We're somewhere in the mid-90s. But I wanted to finish the challenge content today and then get ready to the final boss. And the final boss went down pretty quickly, actually. Only a handful of attempts on it. So we've just been taking the time to reflect on the game in a not particularly organized fashion over the end credits. We haven't seen end credits for a game on stream in quite some time, actually. Not since late last year, because I started playing this in November thinking it would be really, really quick to get through and as something that we could just cram before the new year. That did not turn out to be the case, because there was actually so much more to this beyond just the main game, and the main game is, you know, still medium large by Metroid standards. At the kind of pace I'm going, you're looking at 30 to 40 hours or so. So, you know, maybe smaller than a casual run through Hollow Knight, but certainly longer than anything in the Metroid series. And then we basically doubled the length of this experience just by playing through all of the challenge content. Yeah, Luca, you haven't been here for a while, but I mean, I have not really been streaming that much in recent months. There was a big interruption, of course, to deal with some of the issues with migrating our entire VOD archive to YouTube, which has now been done. So we took a bit of a break for that, but then I've also just been getting through a lot of backlog off stream as well, and only dipping in on stream every now and then. But part of it is to, you know, kind of save our energy for the Switch 2 launch, which is coming very, very soon, and I'm hoping to pick up the schedule then to show off what we can. So yeah, I hope you've been doing well on your end. And we'll see what there is to look at after the credits. Possibly get a shot of our completion percentage, which I think is going to be about 93-ish. But yeah, this is very much a jack of all trades kind of game, and it's, I think, is a very high compliment to it that it is good to great at everything, and excellent in some respects. I think by the time we got through not only some of the optional challenges that are woven into the map, but also the ones that are separate in the Divine Trials and of course in the DLC, that even just the platforming elements are a very complete platforming game in themselves. Even the sequences that have no combat to them and are mostly about wall jumps and well-planned warps. But again, it's, in that respect, kind of feels like a spiritual sequel to not only the older Prince of Persia games, but also the Rayman games, when it comes to the platforming style and the sense of flow and momentum. So we were very happy to see that. But I think the combat is actually what is going to stick out for me in the long run with this game, in terms of something that is bringing to the Metroid genre that I don't think has been done quite this well. Just in terms of the translation of that very positional and combo-oriented play that you don't really see that much in the side-scroller space these days, I think. And just the quality of the boss fights as well. I mean, a lot of them are in just very flat rectangular arenas where you're not playing the room so much, you're definitely playing the boss pattern specifically. But there was enough going on with each of the bosses, and especially in some of the hard modes where applicable, that it was very satisfying to learn the sequences every time and really put in the time to do them. Luca, you heard they're working on a Rayman game now. Yeah, I see rumors about that pop up every now and then, especially when people go through listings for hiring and the like. I know there was something that I saw even earlier this week about this team, Ubisoft Montpellier, kind of being in the discovery phase, I guess, the preparation phase for the next big Rayman project, which I'd be very happy to see. I mean, I never want to speak too soon about this sort of thing, but certainly coming out of this game, my impression is that it is the strongest game out of Ubisoft that I have played. And the previous high watermark for that probably was Rayman Legends. But this game kind of feels like in some ways that it does what Rayman Legends does, plus much, much more at the same time, and that everything kind of works together as an integrated product. Sets a very, very high bar. I mean, as something with Ubisoft scope to it, there is, of course, this occasional bugginess that we ran into. I feel like every Ubisoft game I've played on the Switch, with this and, you know, Mario plus Rabbids and so on, that we've kind of encountered some kind of bugginess in each of them, like at least one crash in every game from them that I played, but that's kind of just a result of the system's complexity of what they develop, I think. That you just have so many cooks on these projects spread out over the whole fleet of studios sometimes, that you're bound to have some issues. Anyway, we can get back into normal scroll here since we're actually at the end of the credits already. With just all the licensing and engines, etc. And C++ libraries and such, software licenses, all through the end. And then, yeah, we'll get a look at what our save file looks like. I'm sure that it's a point of no return save. That's right by a warp point, and then we can take a bit of a peek at the map. And yeah, lots and lots of software license credits. Okay, here's a little cutscene at the end. Now, we didn't get 100%, and I don't know if 100% has a separate scene, but let's see what Artaban has to say.
Don't worry. I'll take good care of Varum.
Oh, so he still exists in this timeline. So that's the ending scene that we'll get. Like I said, I don't know if there are multiple scenes for different tiers of percentages. The boss rush mode is now unlocked with Artaban. I thought it was previously unlocked. Oh, maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, let's screenshot the thank you message, and then let's take a look. And yeah, Luca, I'm aware that Ubisoft had some struggles recently that has led to them kind of restructuring some of the business in partnership with Tencent, I think. Okay, so we actually had a big jump in percentage here when completing the final zone, because going into today's stream we're at 92% or so. And just completing the last optional boss there plus the final zone actually zips you all the way up to 100.75, even though we didn't get full collectibles. Now, I understand that since this includes the DLC, that the actual total completion that's possible is, I think, something like 107. I'm not exactly sure, because I didn't look it up. But let's take a look at how the save file looks, and we'll probably just call it a short stream from there. We'll see. Yeah, because I decided that I'm not going to stream the full 100% sweep. I'd rather take my time with it at some point. Maybe at some point we'll come back to do something like the boss rush. Yeah, but looking at the map, this is what we had. So yeah, it doesn't at any point give you a completion percentage except on the main screen, but it does give you the checklist for each zone. Also, the death marker is all the way off screen when you die at the boss, I guess. So it gives you the point of no return save. We, as I kind of went through before I got to the boss, we're missing a few of the secret puzzles that you have to kind of deliver to the architect, and we are missing a small handful of the platforming challenges like the Strixes coins. At some point we'll sweep it. It would have been nice to maybe get video of the remaining platform challenges, but I don't think I'll really hunt for them today. But yeah, we actually managed to do this pretty comprehensively. I don't know if there are any post-game unlocks on a post-game save. This obviously is tracked as a post-game save because we know that it unlocks the boss rush and that the main quests are all fully completed. In terms of side quests, we know that this is just a function of collectibles and this is just a function of puzzles. And yeah, other than that, we're pretty thorough. And it doesn't really give you any kind of indication of whether you have collected all amulets, I think. But I suspect there might be more. It doesn't really give you any kind of post-game indication of that, though. And lots of lore that we'll read over sometime. Yeah, so one thing as well is I have no idea how to actually see some of the achievements that were very inconsistently logged, because sometimes it would connect to the account that I had, and sometimes it would log the achievements and sometimes it wouldn't, and I think it's actually kind of convoluted to try to view it on PC. There's no way to view it in-game here on the Switch, though. as far as I know. You kind of have to get into Ubisoft account system, and you can't do it through web. I think you have to look at the achievements through their own app. But yeah, in terms of skins, I wonder if there's any kind of... Oh yeah, there actually is a completion skin here, Exalted, which... hang on, is it going to show me? There we go. Is your little super-powered skin at the end of the game, which we have now. So, you know, why don't we end like that? We'll switch to the Exalted skin since we finally earned it. I think there might be an additional skin for things like the boss rush as well, but... have I seen GMTK's new game demo? I saw that there was a video that announced that he had a new game demo. I had not actually looked into it yet. I did see that Mark Brown released a video saying that he had developed something. I never actually got around to playing his first one, Mind Over Magnet, either. But that might be something to look in at some point. So, yeah, in terms of the remaining time between now and when the Switch 2 comes out, I'll almost certainly fill it mainly with Mario Maker. It doesn't make sense to try to cram another small game between now and then unless I can think of one that I can realistically estimate a quick completion time for. If we can fit in something small that I know will only take me a stream or two, then we'll do it. But other than that, I think we'll actually do a bit of Maker catch-up in whatever time slots I can find over the next 2 weeks, and then we'll get it straight into Switch 2. And it's going to be a pretty packed schedule for the rest of the year from there, I think. So, because there's a lot that interests me about how it's looking at launch. You know, at no point in this game have we actually used the fast travel. Since we've completed the game, you know what? Let's actually use the fast travel and just see what the boss rush room looks like, I guess. And then we'll finish with something like that. Yeah, at no point have we actually ever used the fast travel over the course of this entire playthrough, but that's just how I play. But if we zip around to, what was it? The Haven. So this is what the animation looks like. I just want to see what the boss rush listing is like, because it seems to indicate to me that it includes the Artaban fight, unless it's just telling me that it's found at Artaban, which we'll see.
Good to see you.
We're not doing it right now, obviously. I just want to take a look. Yeah, Luca, I've got my Switch 2 coming day one. In fact, the retailer that I booked mine with will have a midnight pickup. And so we'll see how the setup goes and whether the servers have issues, etc. But we might be able to stream it right on the first day. I'm actually strongly considering streaming the Welcome Tour, in fact, even before I get into Mario Kart with everybody else. But we'll finalize some plans as we go. So yeah, Boss Revenge is once defeated bosses on any difficulty, so we now have all these remaining ones, and of course these ones from the DLC at the end. Not the expert ones in the Divine Trials though, because they already have their own rooms, I guess. And I wonder with the loadouts here how much flexibility you have other than being limited with your abilities. A no hit challenge, we're not doing that. So yeah, we played through the game on Hero, I think, because that was the one that was one level above what was recommended as normal. And in terms of boss rush, you've got all these different grades of them as well, which makes me wonder if they include something like DLC bosses, but yeah, right, because then you can actually choose your loadout completely up to what you have unlocked. And I see that it's not matching my current loadout in the main game. It's got a lot of vacancies actually for me to mix and match as I will. So we might do that some other time if we want to go back to this and relearn all the patterns. But for the time being. I don't think there's anything
Well
post-game
done.
that you can buy here. For the time being, we're going to save, and we'll be done with this. So yeah, Luca, no, I'm also logging off as well. I've decided, again, not to push the full 100% completion right now. When we do some of the sweep, I think we'll probably do some of it off-stream, possibly plugging into Prosperity Bird in case we're missing just like a little spark of light somewhere, which is sometimes the case with lore pages, is that they are very easily missable as collectibles sometimes because you just see a little sparkling dot for some of them. But yeah, the main thing I would have liked to get footage of is the platforming challenges, which are the ones associated with the coins, but we're just missing 3 of them, I think. The rest of the collectibles, I'll sweep them when I feel like it. And the boss rush, we might do someday when we feel like it. But I'm very happy to put on our exalted skin now for completion and put this aside. So, that is the conclusion, for now, of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the conversation from anybody who dropped by live. And, of course, everything is nowadays up on YouTube and also in higher quality than we had before, which I think served this game quite well in some of the challenge rooms in recent broadcasts. We're quite happy to put this away with 100.75% out of who knows what in the bank. And until we decide where to go next, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful time with everything you may be playing or making or watching, or for that matter, imminently anticipating, if that so applies. And as always, fare thee well.